I would unmute your mic and make sure that you're able to speak. Okay, so before we get started as well, I'd like to just give a few people, some time to join the webinar, right? So I'll just give you a quick introduction to Diagnostar Health. So Diagnostar Health is a healthcare technology startup, and we provide individuals, corporate groups, health organizations, and businesses with a secure electronic medical record keeping platform. If you don't know what an electronic medical record platform is, or if you don't know what the EMR is, that's a short for electronic medical records. It helps you to keep track of your health with a digital device, and it's stored securely in the cloud, right? And this enables you to have your medical records with you everywhere you go. You don't have to keep carrying paper medical records everywhere whenever you need to go to the hospital, or if you need to speak with a doctor, you need to share your medical records. You just have to update your medical records yourself and have all of those important information updated to your EMR. And when you need to speak with a doctor, you can get to download them and share it with them via email, right? So one of what this technology also does is it connects you to licensed international doctors and wellness specialists like Cairo Clinic, for example, and you can get diagnoses, second medical opinions through our telemedicine feature. And also through the Diagnostar EMR platform, you can book lab appointments, you can order medication from our Nigerian partner labs and pharmacies. We have partner labs across Nigeria. We have partnerships with the likes of Synlab, MedPlus, and the likes. So we would definitely want to get on board, right? However, that's not all that the platform does. The EMR platform is secure. Like I mentioned before, you can update and fill out your medical history. And some of these medical history that you get to update include your pre-existing conditions, family medical history, your allergies, any other health information that's important, right? Like your scans, your lab tests, and all of that. You can securely download them. You can share them with the health provider, regardless of where they're located, right? Whether they're in Nigeria or they're abroad, you can get all of those information to them without having to maybe DHL it or send it across, with a delivery or courier service. With your medical history, in the palm of your hands, sharing it with your medical provider, you get to drastically reduce the instances of misdiagnosis, because misdiagnosis is a menace in this country, right? It's killed a lot of people, and I'm sure you do not want to be a victim. Nobody wants to be a victim of misdiagnosis. So it's important for you to have your medical records at hand. And then also when you consult with a doctor on the Diagnostar EMR platform, or you will have a plan with any of our HMO partners, you can get to see real-time updates of your EMR or your medical records whenever you go to the hospital, whenever you consult with a doctor on our platform as well. So basically, in summary, that is what we do. If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. We're still expecting more people. Just a recap, in case you're just joining, we are Diagnostar Health. I am Miriam. We work with Diagnostar Health, and we offer EMR services, that's electronic medical record services, that helps you to digitize your medical files, helps you to consult with doctors abroad or in Nigeria. You can speak with also wellness providers like nutritionists, like Cairo Clinic, and you can also speak with mental health specialists, psychologists, other specialists as well. You can speak with oncologists and the likes. You can just get on the platform and get started. It's not expensive. It's pretty inexpensive. To get access, you just need to subscribe to the EMR for either 500 Naira per month or 5,000 Naira a year. If you also subscribe to a telemedicine plan, you get free access to the EMR, and you can also get discounted consultations and free medication, lab tests, and all of that. So just go to our website, diagnosta.com, and you can get to learn a lot more about what we do. If you also have questions about the EMR later on, you can also let us know in the comment section, and we're going to ask. So let's go down to today's topic now that we have a big number of us on board, which is, what is today's topic? And you're what you eat, how nutrition affects you. So this is a very interesting topic because nutrition plays a very vital role in how we look, in how we feel, and also with our health as well. And we luckily have with us today a registered dietitian nutritionist and the founder of Cairo Diet Clinic with over 8 years of clinical experience to give us in-depth details about what we eat and how it affects us. So I'm just going to let Olajumoke Osunsoya take over this this webinar. Over to you, Olajumoke. Thank you.
Thanks, Miriam, for the opportunity. Please make me the host so that I can share my screen. Is that possible? Okay.
Yes, I just made you the co-host.
All right. Thank you so much. And I will be discussing with you all on you are what you eat and how food affects you. I hope it's going to be a very interaction. We are all using our video, but what I would expect that you're just going to answer me. I'm going to make it as interactive as possible, and I'll be counting on to respond, right? And thankfully, we have our names a little bit on our written on that emoticon. So please, I call you, just respond. Thank you. So let me just put on the playing board. Please, if you can see my screen, just write it in the chat section that you can see my screen. I want to be sure that you can see my screen. So if you can see my screen, go to the chat section and say, yes, I can see your screen. Please quickly do that. I'll just expect 3 yes from 3 people. Yes, 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 I can see your screen. And thank you so much, Mr. Tunde, for saying that. Thank you. Apart from Diagnosta Health, okay? Apart from Diagnosta Health, I need 2 more people to say, I can see your screen, and I can know that we are together. 2 more people, I'm waiting on you all. 2 more people, I can see your screen. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Mr. Kells, I want to be your Mr. Oh, thank you so much for saying you can see my screen. So yeah, I have 2 people. Mr. Daniel says, yes, I can see your screen. Thank you so much for responding. I'm Olajumoke Osunsoya, and I'm the lead dietitian as introduced of Cairo Diet Clinic with full partnership with Diagnosta Health, and we're here to serve you. So what are we going to discuss today? We're going to discuss nutrition and health, importance of a healthy plate, building a healthy plate, the dieting mindsets. We're going to talk about some trendy diets also. Developing a healthy relationship with food, ways you speak with your dietitian, and questions and answers. Right. So before we get here, I just want to ask just mini quiz, and that is, what comes to your mind when you eat? What comes to your mind before you eat? Is it just let me give an example of hunger. But what comes to your mind when you eat? I just want 2 responses. What comes to mind when you eat? What are the things that influence your food choices? So I'll be waiting in the chat section, just 1 minute. I just have 1 minute for that. So yes, what comes to your mind when you eat? What comes to your mind when you eat? I'm waiting. Our time is counting right now. What comes to your mind when you eat? So I can see some people typing fully here. So yeah, what comes to your mind when you eat? Our time is moving fast, fast, fast. So I need you to respond. What comes to your mind? What influences your food choices? What comes to your mind when you eat? Waiting. This is the only way we can make this very interactive. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. To satisfy hunger and nourish the body. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for that. Yes, satisfy hunger and nourish the body. Is there anybody else before I move on? To satisfy hunger and nourish the body. Of course, we all eat when we're hungry. So we just want to fill our tummy, and that is it. And then before we now start thinking of nourishing our body. Now I'm just going to move on because of time. Right. So what comes to your mind when you eat? I think the first thing that comes to your mind is the food palatable? Is it tasty? Is it something that I want to eat? Right? Does it culturally appeal to my sense of taste? That's the first thing that comes to your mind. No matter how hungry you are, actually, if they give you a Chinese food, for instance, they are to. If you could try and manage, some people even vomit, you could try and just manage a few spoons, but if not, right, you may just eat a few spoons and just stop because it is not culturally acceptable. Let's even go to just Kenya, that's very close to us, or Ghana. They give you some of their delicacies, you might be like, I may want to pass, especially if you have mind when you eat, because our culture shapes our tastes. Right? The second thing that comes to mind is, can I afford it? Right? If you're not cooking for yourself, if you're having to buy things, the first thing that comes to mind, and the second thing that comes to mind is your economic power. Can you afford some of the things that you want to eat? Right? And now we discover that people are not trying to afford food. They also want to afford time. Everybody wants to be able to eat out because you don't really have time to cook. So the rate at which people eat out now is much more than before, right? A lot of people now eat out, right? So the second thing is, can I afford it? If I can afford it, then why can't I eat out? So people can eat out of the 3 times a day just because they don't want to cook, right? So, and it's okay. And the third thing that comes to mind is, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? If you're happy, there are some foods that you like to go for. If you're sad, there are also some food that you like to go for. For instance, if you're sad, some people will go for cakes, for pastries, some comfort food that will make you feel like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy, right? So you go for those things that you think can make you feel happy, that are high in sugar, probably in fat as well. But at that particular time, your feelings and emotions are valid, and you're eating to be happy. It's okay. Also, when you are probably in an occasion and they're serving you, just doing life together can actually influence your food choices. Your parents order for this, and let me also try it. Those are the things that actually influences our food choices. And lastly, but not the least, is the nutrient content of food. That's like the last thing that comes to mind of everybody. If you're not nutritionally you can hear me, just say yes, you can hear me, please. Very important. If you can hear me, please let me know that you can hear me. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? I'm not getting any response. Can you hear me? Right. It was off briefly, but now you can hear me, right? I may have to try another network if you cannot hear me, but let's keep going. So the last thing that comes to mind is the food nutrients are, as a lesson, I was saying that it actually depends on how knowledgeable you are. Nutrition, you say, okay, this contains this nutrient, this, okay, that's the reason why I'm eating that food. So that means that you have basic knowledge of nutrition. You know how to check for food labels for nutrients content, and that's the only way you actually start questioning yourself on this. Right. Now, how does nutrition affect our health? Right. Now, nutrition is a big deal because the World Health Organization, 71% of all deaths are nutrition related. That's huge, right? Because considering the fact that we rarely pay attention to the foods that we eat, that's like the last thing on your mind. We have a lot of problems in Nigeria that police be thinking about menu planning and what you're eating. You plan every aspect of your life except for menu. That's because it's the least thing on our minds. Yes, it accounts for 71% of all death. And it also shows us that our choices over time can actually bring us reward in terms of healthful aging, in terms of living a disease-free life, or it can bring consequences in terms of having chronic conditions or premature death. Chronic diseases are the leading of death, and it's even growing. So you have so many people coming down with hypertension now, diabetes. As a matter of fact, hypertension is no longer
It appears Olajumoke's network is a bit bad. Let's give her a few minutes. Let her switch her network and she'll rejoin us shortly. But so far, I hope you're enjoying the webinar and you're jotting down your questions. Okay, she's back with us.
I have two networks and I just touched again because I don't know what's happening. I apologize for that. So I was saying that lung cancer, something that you can hear me, please. Sorry, don't talking to myself. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me? Thank you very much. So, stroke, cancer, diabetes, chronic lung disease are collectively responsible for 71% of all death. So when it comes to all these diseases that I'm talking about, we have the modifiable risk factors and we have the unmodifiable risk factors. Modifiable risk factors are the things that you can do something about, and the unmodifiable risk factors are the things that you cannot really do anything about. Unmodifiable risk factors include your age. You cannot do anything about your age. You can't do anything about your genetic makeup. You can't do anything about your family history. Those are the things you cannot do anything about that predisposes you to chronic conditions. But some things that you can actually do something about, and that's your diet. Those are the modifiable risk factors. Your physical activity, your use of tobacco, that's smoking, and alcohol intake. Right? And I used to say this, that even if you have a family history of diabetes, it does not mean that you automatically have diabetes, right? So it is very, very important. People will think that, oh, once I have family history, that means that I automatically come down with this. That's not true. And if you don't have a family history of hypertension, it doesn't mean that you cannot come down with the condition, right? And so all this unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, excessive smoking and alcohol intake can increase the risk of high blood pressure, being overweight or obese, having hyperglycemia, which is high blood sugar levels, and having high blood levels of fat, which is also called hyperlipidemia. If you're a kind of person that check that do routine check, when you get your lipid profile test, you see the total blood cholesterol, the LDL, the HDL, the triglycerides. When your LDL your total cholesterol is very high, that means they have high amounts of fat in your blood. And that is what actually predisposes you to the chronic condition. It has been shown through research that 41 million people die yearly from non-communicable diseases, and 82% of all these premature deaths happen in the low and the middle income countries, Nigeria inclusive, right? So let me go to slideshow, sorry. Right. So there are two ways in which diets affect us. We have the innate response to disease. So you might be saying, thinking that, maybe diets will affect nutrition. But diets also affect our immune system. This is a big deal, really, because the way our immune system responds to infection is also influenced by our diet, right? So there are two ways by which our immune system responds to infection. So we have the innate response and the adaptive response. Your innate response includes your skin, the mucous membrane of your gastrointestinal tract, and the granulocytes. This actually helps to prevent pathogens in foreign bodies from entering your body, right? And for the granulocytes, actually help to engulf the foreign bodies or pathogens and destroy it. Now, when any pathogen actually bypass any of this innate response, we have the innate response, we have the adaptive response, the T cells and the B cells. These ones are pathogens, and they are able to create special antibodies to destroy the pathogens. Now that's powerful because God actually knows how to, structure our body to actually overcome infections, right? And in all the nutrients, protein, and some LD actually much needed in like if you're not taking enough vitamins and you're not taking enough protein and some healthy fats, you will notice that the rate at which you're going to be getting sick will be so different than if you're actually healthy when it comes to eating healthy. Now, I'll also take our mind back to when we had the COVID-19 pandemic. You discover that some people easily died from the disease. That's because probably they are older adults or have chronic conditions. That's because when you are already advanced in age, your immune function decline. I'll still explain this. So that's the reason why how this actually affects our health. Now, there are factors that actually suppress our immune system. In the COVID period, the older you get, the slower your immune response. That's because as you age, the production of white blood cells reduces, right? Your immune system slows down as you age, and that can put you at risk of chronic conditions. For obesity, for some people, when they're for those that are obese, is that takes place in the body and suppress the immune system. This is why it's very important to maintain a healthy body weight, right? It's also been shown that obese people have fewer white blood cells to fight infections. So it is very important that you gradually always work yourself towards the ideal body mass index. If you don't know what body mass index is, it means that your weight is, you can calculate it by putting your weight over your height meters squared. And if you get between 18.5 and 24.9, that means that your body mass is okay. But if you get below 18.5, that means that you are underweight. If you get above 24.9, that means that you're overweight. And if it's above 30, that means you're obese. And at that obesity level, the production of white blood cells are always fewer. So very important that you work yourself back to it. Now, stress also, stress have a way of compromising our immune system. But and I'm not talking about usual daily stress and all of that. I'm talking about chronic stress, when you are always not sleeping enough, when you're always not having time to exercise, when you don't always have time to eat healthy and you're just leaving things to chance. Chronic stress like that can actually increase the stress hormone called cortisol and reduce the number of white blood cells in circulation. And we have chronic conditions. I've already mentioned that all these things are actually interrelated. You know, when you're obese and that can compromise your immune system. Unhealthy diet can compromise your immune system. If you're always just leaving your eating habits to chance, you're not paying close attention to what you eat, you're always eating foods that are high in you're always eating out. There's something about eating out. There's something about eating out. Those people, they don't want to satisfy your thought, right? So they put in lots of bouillon cubes, they put in lots of salts, they put in lots of palm oil, and you see a lot of oil on food all the time. And if care is not taken over, you're actually doing your immune system a great harm. I hope you're not seeing this slide. Just want to have this question. So, what is the impact of the benefits of the health diet? We're gonna have one. Let's quickly get to our chat section. What is why should you have a healthy diet? What are the benefits? So I'm gonna have 3 responses to that. What are the benefits of having a healthy diet? 1 minute for that. I'll be in the chat section. I can see many people here, so let's start typing. What are the benefits of having a healthy plate? I can see Mr. Lawa here, Mr. Sami. We have a lot of people, so I'm waiting on you to chat with me. Benefit of having a healthy plate. What's the benefit of having a healthy plate? You get to eat a balanced diet. You get to eat a balanced diet. So what are the benefits of diet? What is eating a balanced diet? I'm waiting on you. Are we together? Benefits of eating a balanced diet. Thank you so much, Mr. Tunde. It helps to function properly. That's correct. It helps the body organs function properly and anyone else benefits of thank you so much for that. Anyone else that's willing to contribute before we move on. So let's move on with time. Right. What are the benefits of having a healthy diet? You get to achieve a healthy weight, right? You cannot achieve a healthy weight and maintain that weight without a healthy diet. You also get to prevent, of course, when you have a healthy weight, you're preventing being overweight or obese. You're also reducing your risk of chronic diseases. You are reducing your risk of premature death, right? And you also achieving healthful aging. I used to say that some people don't age healthfully, and they don't really look older than their age, apart from the fact that it has to do with makeup. It might be due to having, if you're not eating healthy, you're not going to age gracefully. Like healthfully, that's the word. If you're not going to achieve healthful aging if you're not eating healthy. Now, what are the things determining how much that we eat, right? I've seen many people that say, once they hear that you're a dietitian, they'll just say, hey, that dietitian, what should I be eating? How much food should I eat? You know, they always make it seem as though I can look at them and say, looking at you, I think you will eat like 500 kilocalories or 1,500 kilocalories. I cannot just look at you and say, oh, this is the amount of food that you need to eat daily. Depends on factors such as your age. You know, as you age, as you get older, your muscle mass and that will reduce the amount of food that you need to eat daily. And that's why for people that are older, like 45 years or more, it's very important that you're no longer looking at the quantity but the quality. You're now focusing more on the quality and not the quantity. So it's not until your plate is so full of food that is when you know that you're eating. No, it is when you actually know that all the food groups are present in your plate. So that's your age. Secondly, for gender, right? Men have higher body mass higher muscle mass rather than women, and because they have higher muscle mass, they will need more food than women. So if you're a woman and you're always struggling with or competing with your husband on the size of food, now you may know why you're getting fat and probably he's not really even getting fat. Probably you are getting so that's because he has more muscle mass than you and more food than you. Right. Another thing that influences our food is our height and body composition, but mainly the height. If you're tall, you need more food than somebody that is short. By short, I mean average height. I am 1.6 meter, that's 5 feet 3 inches. You will not need as much food as somebody that's 6 feet or 5 feet 8 inches, or like 1.8 or 1.9 meter. Those who are tall need more food because they tend to have a larger muscle mass and bone mass than those who are short. Physical activity will play a great role in how much food that you need to eat. For instance, if you are physically active, for a teacher that stands and teach all day and move around more, that person that you sit all day, sit in your office that is air conditioned, then move to your house that is air conditioned, and to your car that is air conditioned. If you're moving like that, you're not really moving much compared to a conductor, a carpenter that is shouting, or a conductor that is shouting at the top of his lungs. Those people will need more energy than you because they're constantly burning. Your physical state also matter when it comes to how much food that you need to eat, right? Your metabolic rate is higher in pregnant women because they are growing a baby. They are growing babies in them. Lactating women because, of course, they are passing nutrients. They are breastfeeding women. They are passing nutrients to their baby, right? And also children, babies, metabolic rate is very high in them. Adolescents, their metabolic rate is high. So you cannot compare yourself with these people. You will need less food or more nutrients. Right. So I've seen a lot of people that talk about the fact that, I'm on a diet, and because of my diet, I can't eat carbs. Carbs are not really good for me and all of that. But that is not true. You cannot do without carbs, and there is no diet that is sustainable if you remove all carbs, right? If you're on a diet and you have removed all carbs, you just know that it is not sustainable, and it's just a matter of time. You will come back to your carbs. You will come begging your carbs, literally, right? So your body cannot do without carbs. That's because even your brain prefers glucose to other type of nutrients to survive and to work optimally. You notice that if you're not getting enough carbs from your diet, you might lose concentration at work. You're not really concentrating well, right? That's because your brain needs to survive. You need a minimum 100 grams of carbs and sometimes even 150 grams of carbs at least per day for your brain to function optimally. So, and also it has also been shown that a diet very low in carbs, that is less than 50 grams, and some trendy diet can actually lead to loss of bone mass and also high blood cholesterol. That's because your body is constantly breaking down body fats, and because of that, it can shoot high the amount of fat in the blood. Different types of carbs. We have the simple carbs, the complex carbs, and the refined carbs. Right? Okay, so I'll see comments, so I'm going to respond to all of that later. Right? So we have the simple, the complex carbs, and the refined carbs. Now, the simple carbs are what you also find in your fruits, in your vegetables, surprisingly, in milk as well. Those are simple carbs. In complex carbs, you have it in yam, in potatoes, in plantain, in your spaghetti, in your rice. And then we have the refined carbs. Refined what you have in your pastries, in processed foods, overly processed foods. Those are refined carbs. Now, when it comes to body eating, you are supposed to try as much as possible to stay away from refined carbs Then watch your portion of complex carbs. Then embrace the simple carbs that are in your fruits and vegetables, right? So that's very important. It's about smart choices. You're able to be complex carbs and just refine carbs to patients. You are doing great, right? Okay, let's just so let's talk about some of the nutrients that you need. Apart from carbs, we have the fats. We have some people that will say, oh, I'm not eating macrofish because it's too oily, right? So we have dealt with, let's deal with fats, right? Not all fats are bad for you. There are some fats that are actually very good for you, right? For fats that are in beef, you know, you're supposed to limit your beef intake because it has been linked to cancer disease. There are some heart-friendly fats that are very good. They are called the omega-3 fatty acids. They help to improve your brain health. They help to improve your lipid profile. They help to improve your. Those are the ones from avocados, then fatty fish, then olive oil, then canola oil, and nuts. You should not stay away from them. Oh, I'm trying to watch my weight. You can actually watch healthy fats that are good for your fats. Now we also have protein. On the average, you need about 0.8 to 1 kg body weight. Your dietitian can always calculate this for you. But on an average, you need like 70 to 100 grams of protein every day. Get to know, and also you have to know that 100 grams of fish doesn't mean that it does not mean 100 grams of protein. That is where some people miss it. 100 grams of fish only gives you about 22 of protein. So it's about able to convert this. Okay, if I take 100 grams in the morning, then absolutely okay, I would have actually achieved my protein intake for that day. That's very important, especially men. Men can stay on the system from morning to evening and not drink water, and it can actually lead to kidney stones, can lead to constipation. So for some people, it can cause pile, and that's hemorrhoids, and confusion and disorientation. Because some people that hospitalized because pressure ulcers and so we also have vitamins and minerals. Vitamin B12 improve your mental health. Vitamin D helps with the bone health, of course, and calcium. And we also have iron that is very helpful in preventing anemia. When you're not taking in all these nutrients and you're just focusing on the calories, you're not going to be you're compromising your health. Really, you're compromising your immune system, and you're up and also actually pointing to chronic conditions. Like I said, your food choices over time is going to affect you. So, point of why we're here, how do you build a healthy plate, right? How do you build a healthy plate? As you can see, a plate in front of me here, you see that you see the portion of fruits, vegetables, trees, or complex carbs stays here and stays here. And as you can see here, you have your fruits, and you have your vegetables, and you have your complex carbs. Here is whole wheat bread. It's always good to go for whole grains if you can. Doesn't mean that you cannot eat white bread once in a while. You can eat white bread once in a while, but not all the time, as much as possible. So people have actually made white bread their everyday breakfast, like every day, just white bread. It's very important that you diversify and try out other complex carbs, and your protein also. So like I said, half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables, and then you divide the other plates into half. Then you have your whole grains or complex carbs, and then you have your protein. Your healthy plant oil has to be in moderation. Your healthy fats must be in moderation. This is very important. So what that means is that you are not supposed to be cooking and there will be lots of palm oil on your plates. So you have some people that when they cook, once they don't see that palm oil, they're not yet satisfied, right? They must see lots of palm oil on their stew and everything that they're cooking, right? So that is wrong. So oil are supposed to be in moderation. Imagine just a tablespoon of oil Just 1 tablespoon of oil going for 120 kilocalories. That's a lot, right? It's even more than this 1 tablespoon of oil is more than the calories that you have in apples, just in one apple. So 1 apple is actually lesser than 1 tablespoon of oil. 1 tablespoon of oil is 120 kilocalories, and 1 apple is 95 kilocalories. So you can imagine. So the more oil you're taking in, you just helping yourself to get fat, right? So you're choosing beverages and foods that are very low in added sugar, in saturated fat, and as well as sodium. So this is very, very important. Now, the top question that I get all the time, and that is, so every time I'm eating, I have to divide my plate. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But if you can start with dividing your plate, it will give you that consciousness of healthy eating, I assure you. And then another thing is that we have this misconception that what should fill us up should be the carb and the protein. But when you start dividing your plate, you discover that vegetables are filling, your fruits also could be so filling, your protein is also very filling. And as you can see right here is the dairy products, the low fat dairy. It's always good to go for the low fat one. And most of the time we forget to take our milk, and we're not on calcium supplements. And that can put, especially women at risk of osteoporosis. And future osteoporosis is loss of bone mass, right? So you have a lot of women in their older age group that are at risk of fractures. You know, they are always complaining of pain, and it can also worsen your risk of, increase your risk of arthritis in the later years. So using 2,000 kilocalorie diet, for example, I already told you, I cannot look and say, oh, you need 2,000 kilocalorie. It depends on how like 6 servings of carbs. So you go 2,000 kilocalories, you need about 6 servings of carbs, 5.5 servings of protein, 400 grams or 2 cups of fruits, and you need about 2.5 cups of vegetables, and let's say 3 servings of dairies. Now let's talk about serving sizes. So we have 1 fruits, right? Or 1 medium fruit, like 1 banana is your 1 serving of fruits. 1 apple is 1 serving of fruits. Also 1 cup of raw vegetables is also 1 serving of vegetables. Now, when we say take at least 2 to 3 servings of fruits every day, what we mean is you're able to take 1 apple in the morning, you're able to take 1 orange and 1 banana in the evening, and you would have actually met your fruit requirements for that day. So it's actually very simple, right? Very, very simple, right? But you have a lot of people that will not do that, but they will now buy like 5 to 6 oranges, they finish it at the same time. And say, I'm eating healthy today. And then they will not take fruit again until next week. Right? So it's what you do consistently. You are what you do consistently, not what you do once in a while. So even if you take like 10 oranges at once, some people will buy a bunch of banana, they will sit on it and finish the whole bunch of banana at once. You're not doing yourself a favor, because by tomorrow your body will use what it will need, and then excrete the remaining. By tomorrow you also need another vitamins or mineral, and now you already finished it again, so there's nothing for you to eat again. So it's about you taking it every day. So for carb servings, 1 slice of bread is 1 serving of carb, right? Half cup of boiled rice or boiled pasta, or swallow. This is a very small right here. It's 1 serving of carbs. You have 1 cup of ready-to-eat cereal, preferably high fiber cereal, right? And then we have protein. Palm size is that's a 3 servings of protein. That's like a palm size of your hand. And 1 tablespoon of peanuts is 1 serving. And half cup of cooked beans is another 1 serving. And 1 boiled egg is another 1 serving. So we have a sample menu here. So if you are taking like 2 cups of cooked oats in the morning, 3 tablespoons of milk, 1 boiled egg, 1 cup of watermelon, 1 vegetable salad, you would have met your requirement for that morning. Just 1 level cup of swallow, 2 cups of that depends on the calories you are like I said, some people will need more than this based on some factors I've listed before, and some people will need less than this. Now, are you in the dieting mindset? There's a lot of things that people don't know. You're always cutting your carbs, you're not eating enough. You're always going after every trendy diet. If you're always checking your weight almost all the time. So I was shocked one day, somebody told me, I check my weight like literally every day. I was like, why? Why do you think that every day? I think I will wait every day, then you have a dieting mindset. If you always keep fruits and vegetables and say, you put lots of people post about it. And it's so right. All the nutrients in there. Fruits and vegetables is lacking in protein, is lacking fat. So if you're always afraid of increasing your food intake, you have a diet mindset and you should actually work on it. So there are some trending rates people have everything that's healthy eating stuff that we're talking about. But it's very important that people know about the trendy diet out there. And one of it is the ketogenic diet. A lot of people actually say, oh, can I go on a ketogenic diet? I heard it's good for weight loss and all of that. It's already developed patients and such calories come from fat, and just 10% for protein and 5% for carbs. And people jump on it because it's very low in carbs and they want to quickly lose weight. Now, it is effective in the short term, so you can quickly lose weight on this diet. Definitely, whatever reduces your calorie intake, and also your carb intake. In this case, your body switches to fat metabolism, and that actually causes weight loss. But it is not sustainable. Can you eat like this for the rest of your life? That is this downside, the fact that it is not sustainable. It's not suitable for pregnant women, it's not suitable for diabetes. The matter of fact, if it is closer to the liver, if you don't care. Now, we also have a vegan diet. This particular diet excludes all meats and fish and dairies from your diet, and you just be taking only plant-based food, right? This particular diet has a lot of benefits. It has been shown to lower body mass index over time. It has been shown to also reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease. We also have two downsides. For the downsides is that calcium cannot easily be gotten from plant-based foods, so you have to either go for calcium supplements, or you go for some fortified cereals, or you go for fortified almond milk. Now, another thing is that some people are on vegan diet and then they will say they will blend coconut milk and they say, oh, they have dairy substitutes. I was like, what actually makes dairy is the fact that it is very high in calcium and vitamin D. Now, coconut is not high in calcium or vitamin D. If you're drinking coconut milk or soy milk and it is not fortified with calcium, that is not a dairy substitute, right? So that is very important. And also iron and vitamin B12 is not readily available in plant-based food. So you are at risk for anemia if you're not taking supplements, or if you're not actively pairing your plant-based iron food with vitamin C sources. So if you are pairing plant-based iron food with vitamin C sources such as orange, such as broccoli, such as pineapple, if you're not pairing them with iron food sources, then you might not be absorbing iron very well, and that can predispose you to anemia. If you're on regular diet, it's very important that you work with your dietitian to figure out the best diet plan for you. Now, for Mediterranean diet has been shown to be the best diet for weight loss, and has consistently ranked the best diet in the world, really. It's actually very high in healthy fats, it's low in saturated fats, and very high in dietary fiber as well. It is very easy to comply with, and you can lose weight on the Mediterranean diet as well, very effective against type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. It has no downside. That's the good part. And the good thing is that our Nigerian meal here can be adapted to this pattern of diet. So you look at the Mediterranean diet right here, you can see that the lower base of the pyramid is you being physically active. How active are you? It's very important that you're active if you're going on this pattern of eating. And then you have fruits and vegetables is the next one. You have to be physically active and take lots of fruits and vegetables. Then your fish and seafood at least twice a week. That's at least. You can take it more often than that. And then you have the poultry moderately. Your beef will reduce, and you have to also use your wine intake, increase your water intake, and that's it for Mediterranean diet. So how do you develop a healthy relationship with food? It's very important that to have a healthy relationship with food, you have to stop seeing food as just calories. Foods are more than calories, are sources of nutrients. So start shopping for nutrients, not just calories. A healthy diet, that diets are contain all food groups in adequate amounts. A healthy diet, I'll say that again, contain all food groups in adequate amounts, right? So you have your carbs, you have your protein, you have your fat, healthy fats, and you have your vegetables and fruits. You have all of this. So a healthy diet is sustainable. If you're on a diet and you cannot see most of the things on your diet in your local market, then the diet is not sustainable. If you're on a diet and you're removing all carbs, then the diet is not sustainable. So it is very important that you make your diet sustainable. A sustainable diet is that diet that you can be on for the rest of your life. You can be on that diet and be healthy on that diet for the rest of your life. So it's very important. And also, when it comes to the relationship with food, it entails you setting realistic goals. If you're a mom of two, like me, you would have accumulated some weight during pregnancy. And then some people, maybe after giving birth like this, they're already saying, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. That's not setting realistic goals, right? They want to lose all their weight in just 1 month. They say, I just want to quickly lose weight. I want to quickly lose weight. It doesn't work like that. That will actually disrupt your relationship with food because you'll be hyperventilating over every calorie. So it's your dietitian can actually help you set realistic weight loss goal, right? That is very important, right? So, but if, for instance, like I was saying, if you gather all that weight within 9 months, it makes sense that you need at least 3 months to lose that weight. So set realistic goals. Setting realistic goals means that you know how long it will take for you to achieve a weight loss goal, and then put your mind at rest. Okay, fit for health and not just to fit into a dress. I know we live in a society where everybody's about the hourglass shape and all of that, but healthy eating is beyond that. So you have to eat for your health, and by the time you're not eating for your health, you will discover that your weight will align gradually if you're eating for your health. Now, don't tag any food as good or bad. Like even pastries are not bad when they are only taken once in a while. And once in a while, I mean once in a month, they are not bad. If you're going out, for instance, if you party with your friend and they offer you food and you don't have any chronic condition, and you're saying, I'm on diet, I'm sorry, I cannot take it. That means that you don't have a healthy relationship with food. If you have a healthy relationship with food, you will know that some foods are to be taken regularly, while some food are to be taken occasionally. So you focus on the food that are supposed to take regularly and then focus less on the food that are supposed to take occasionally. Now give yourself the permission to be imperfect once in a while. And it's okay because you're human, right? And right. So when should you seek professional help? When should you seek professional help? Seek professional help if you're struggling with your weight, if it's as though it's not moving, right? Of course, you know that your weight will expose you to many chronic conditions. Seek professional help if you think that you're having problem planning your diet and you're not just getting the right. Talk to your dietitian. Getting the right help when you need it can reduce the risk of conditions, can reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes by up to 70%. your blood pressure and blood cholesterol levels. This is very important. You have some people that are very desperate and they go on ketogenic diet. I particularly meet with this particular patient, she was desperate, went on a keto diet, she lost about 15 kg in no time, was later diagnosed with hypercholesterolemia and fatty liver disease. That was before meeting with the dietitian. Now, this is a real life situation right here, and that does not have to be you, right? So seek help when you need it. It is very important. When should you speak with your dietitian? If you're obese, if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, if you have diabetes, if you have hypertension, or any other or the heart disease, if you have gastrointestinal disorder, if you're always being bloated, or always feeling constipated, consult your dietitian. Chronic kidney disease can be effectively managed with diet alongside the medical therapy. Pulmonary disease, rheumatic disease, HIV and AIDS, and cancer. Consult your dietitian if you have any of this. It's very important, as your diet can either worsen those conditions or improve the symptoms and prevent complications. So your dietitian can help with nutrition assessment, can give you a personalized diet plan. You also have this support system. You have the physiotherapist that will tell you how to ease into exercise. Right? For instance, if you're obese, you cannot just dive into exercise like everybody else. The therapist will help you with that. When you're able to achieve all of this, you notice that you are able to reduce the amount you spend on drugs, you are able to reduce your lost productivity, you're able to prevent complications. Our services at Carol Diet Clinic, we do weight management, we do pregnancy care, nutrition care in disease, and corporate nutrition webinars. We have awesome testimonials on our Google. You can just type Carol Diet Clinic and you have our reviews there. And thank you so much for staying with me till now. Now I'm going to have questions. Now you can ask your questions. You can raise your hand. Mr. Sami said, this is very educating and informative. Thank you so much, Mr. Sami. I appreciate that. So please leave your comments, leave your questions. I'm here to attend to all your questions and all your comments. Thank you so much. You can raise your hand if you want to talk as well. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Olajumoke, for that insightful and interesting presentation. As Olajumoke has mentioned, if you do have questions, please drop them in the comments. We're taking them one after the other. You can either raise your hand if you want to speak, and I can unmute your mic, and you can go ahead and ask your questions. So we're taking questions now. We have about 5 minutes, so if you're typing, type real quick. Okay, while we're waiting for people to ask questions, I think I have a question of my own. So I was a bit worried when you said that if you're shorter, or maybe if you have an average height, you shouldn't eat as much as people who are taller because you have a lower is it muscle mass, right? Okay, so how is that calculated? So how do I know, okay, say for example, based on my kind of lifestyle, you have a sedentary lifestyle, you're sitting, then so add on top of it, you're short, all right? So how do you know when to stop? Or how do you know how to calculate your?
Well, it's a long formula. So it's a long formula. I think when you but first of all, if you know that you're short and you see that you already know what the problem is. So you want to target your oil intake. Like I said, just 1 tablespoon of oil is 1 tablespoon of oil. So you can imagine, right? Target your oil intake and reduce it. Target your carb intake and reduce it as well, right? And increase your fruit and vegetables, right? And to actually know the exact amounts that you need to eat, that is where the dietitian will have to come in. You have to consult your dietitian. This is very important. You have to consult your dietitian to do this. So, Mr. Tunde, 1 minute.
Yeah, Tunde Collins asked the question. So he said, I know someone who doesn't like to eat, yet they don't feel hungry even for a day. Is that normal or should we be worried?
Oh, yeah. Well, you should be worried if the person doesn't like to eat and don't feel hungry. If the person is not eating, the person will not be nourished. And like I said, if you're not nourished, you are at risk of infection. So you should be worried. Please take the person for a checkup, right? So that the doctor will attend to the person. It's not normal that you don't like eating. Uh, it's different if you see food as chore. For someone like us, for someone like me, sometimes see food like chore, like it takes time to eat and all of that, and sometimes I like to even blend some of the smoothies. I just put it right up and rush out because I'm a lazy eater. That's different. If you're a lazy eater, it's different. But if you don't like to eat and you hardly feel hungry and you don't eat sometimes for a day or two, then um, we should be a bit worried. So it might be something, might be nothing, but your doctor will determine that. Thank you. Right, any other thing? You're welcome, Mr. Sunday Collins. You're welcome. Any other question?
Yeah, it appears we do not have any other questions. Okay, so thank you so much, Olajumoke, again, once more for this webinar. It was really, really insightful. Just to wrap up real quick, everyone who's here, you're entitled
Okay,
to.
someone
Yeah.
said, is there a way to contact you? Okay, yeah, there's a way you can contact us. Yeah, someone has replied you already. Yeah, so you can contact us.
You can book a consultation with Thyroid Clinic on Bad Diagnosta Health. Just subscribe to the EMR. It's just 500 Naira a month or 5,000 Naira. Again, you can book a consultation with Olajumoke and have all your questions answered. Okay, I think we're having questions coming in now. Sammy says, please, what's the best option? Taking fruits before meals or after meals?
You can take fruit anytime. For people that have, for instance, for people that have gastric ulcer, you want to take fruit after meal, especially citrus fruits. You want to take it after meal because when you take fruits before meal, it can trigger the production of you can trigger the production of gastric acid in your tummy. It can worsen your gastric ulcer. For instance, for people that also have diabetes, it's better to take fruits after meal as well because it will help to slow down the absorption of the food. We slow down the conversion of the fruit to blood sugar. But we don't have any chronic condition. You can take your fruits anytime. We don't have any problem. It will be absorbed anyways. So you can take it, it doesn't matter. You can take it before and you can take it after. Thank you. Someone said, briefly please, is it true that groundnut causes pimples? Whether yes or no, how best can it be avoided? To have a fine face. Right, so I hear that rumor a lot too. Is evidence-based. Evidence-based that have such studies pointing to it. Growing up, I love groundnut a lot. Now, when something is not, when it is not general, like when it does not affect everybody the same way, then you should question it. When I was growing up, I eat groundnut like I say groundnut a lot, and I don't have pimples. Like you see my face, I don't have pimples, right? So you could have some other triggers. Your genetic makeup sometimes can expose you to pimples. So it's not just the groundnut. Groundnut may be a trigger for you. And if it's a trigger for you, you may want to reduce it or remove it from your diet. It's just like for some people that have celiac disease, people that have celiac disease, they cannot take any gluten products. That's why people that have celiac disease, right? That does not mean that meat will cause anybody stomach pain, right? It just means that for you, it's a trigger. And if it's a trigger, then remove it from your diet. Do you understand me? Have I answered your question, Mr. Tunde? Do you understand me? Right. Welcome.
All right, thank you. Any more questions before we wrap up? Okay, if there are none, just thank you everyone so much for your time. We really appreciate you. Like I said before, you can subscribe to the EMR, and then you can also book a consultation with Caradiac Clinic, and Olajumoke will be able to consult with you and give you more details. There's a link to the EMR platform in the chat box. You can that, and to take you directly to the page where you can sign up. Thank you so much once again. Follow us on social media. The social media links are in the chat box as well. We're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, and you're on LinkedIn. We'll be sharing snippets of the webinar. We'll be sharing so many other insights for you to enjoy. So, just if you also want to rewatch this, it's on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. I'm sure we'll send the link as well in an email so that you can go back and rewatch it as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. We really appreciate you. Till next time, when we'll have another webinar, do have a lovely evening. And thank you so much once again, Olajumoke. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye.